Hey there, treasure hunters. Did you know that a plain old penny from your pocket could be worth a jaw-dropping $3 million? Yes, I'm talking about the 1980 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. I know what you're thinking, a penny worth $3 million bucks. Is this a joke? Nope, no joke, no prank, no April Fools here. Stick around, and I'll spill all the juicy details about why this little copper coin is turning heads and breaking banks. And hey, maybe you've got one hiding in your couch cushions right now. First of all, what's the deal with the no mint mark thing? Normally, coins have a little letter on them that tells you where they were made. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or if you're really lucky, no mark at all. That means it was minted in Philadelphia, the OG coin factory. Now, the 1980 penny without a mint mark might not sound all that special at first. I mean, pennies are practically everywhere, right? But here's the kicker, only a few of these specific pennies were made with a rare mistake during production. That's right, folks, a happy little accident that makes coin collectors go absolutely wild. And when collectors are wild, wallets start flying open. Here's where it gets even crazier. A pristine version of this coin, in what collectors call MS-68 condition, that's fancy talk for the basically flawless, was recently sold for, drumroll please, $3 million. That's more money than my car, my house, and probably my entire neighborhood combined. Now, I know what you're thinking, wow, I've got like 50 pennies in my junk drawer, I must be sitting on a fortune. Hold your horses, cowboy. Finding one in perfect condition is like finding a four-leaf clover in a cornfield. But hey, it's worth a shot, right? I mean, I once spent an entire weekend digging through my old coin jar, only to come out with a Canadian penny and a button. Still, the thrill of the hunt is real. Speaking of hunts, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of months ago, I was cleaning out my grandma's attic, you know, doing the good grandkid thing. I stumbled across an old piggy bank. It was full of pennies, and for a hot second, I thought I'd struck gold. I spent hours going through every single coin, imagining the lavish yacht I'd buy when I found my $1 million penny. Spoiler alert, no $1 million penny, but I did find a wheat penny from 1956 worth about $3. Not bad for an attic dig, right? So, what's the moral of the story? Always check your change, people. That boring little penny at the bottom of your bag might just be your ticket to the Millionaires Club. And who doesn't want that? If you've got a jar of old coins or even a few loose ones lying around, take a closer look. You never know what treasure you might find. Treasure hunters, and anyone who's ever wondered if pocket change could buy you a mansion. Today, we're diving into the wild world of a humble penny that might just make you a millionaire. That's right, we're talking about the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that could turn your couch cushion into a gold mine. And guess what? One of these babies is valued at a whopping $2.90 million. Now, before you rush to check your penny jar, let's break down why this coin is so special and how you can spot one. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Okay, so what's the big deal with this penny? First off, no mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. Normally, that's not a big deal, but in 1981, something strange happened. A batch of pennies came out with a unique error in their design, a slight imperfection in the die used to strike the coins. This error turned a regular penny into a collector's dream. Why $2.9 million, though? Two words, rarity and demand. When a coin is rare and has a fascinating backstory, collectors go bananas. It's like when my neighbor paid $300 for a Beanie Baby that looked like a knockoff bear. People just love a good story. Now, you're probably thinking, alright, how do I know if I have one? Look for a 1981 penny without a mint mark. Inspect its condition. If it's shiny, crisp, and free from major scratches, you might have a winner. If you're unsure, get it authenticated by a professional. Trust me, it's worth it. let me tell you about the time I thought I'd struck it rich. I found an old penny in my junk drawer and thought it looked a little too special. I spent hours squinting under a magnifying glass, googling rare coins like a madman, only to find out it was just a regular penny that had been chewed on by something. But hey, one of these days, I'll hit the jackpot, and so could you. Alright, folks, the 1981 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny might just be the golden ticket in your spare change. Imagine finding one and suddenly having $2.9 million to your name. That's life-changing. Alright, coin collectors and treasure hunters, let me hit you with this. Did you know a plain old penny from 1982, with no mint mark, could be worth a jaw-dropping $2.80 million today? Yep, you heard that right. We're talking about a penny that could pay off your mortgage, your student loans, and still have enough left for a lifetime supply of tacos. Let's dive into the wild world of the 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's giving coin collectors heart palpitations. Oh, and stick around, because this penny's story is crazier than your Uncle Jerry's conspiracy theories at Thanksgiving. So, let's rewind to 1982. This was a weird year for pennies. The US Mint was making a big switch from solid copper to a zinc core with a thin copper coating. It was a coin-nerdy cost-saving move because copper prices were going up. Somewhere in this chaotic shuffle, a batch of pennies was minted without a mint mark. For those new to the hobby, the mint mark is the tiny letter that tells you where the coin was made, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. No mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia. But here's the kicker, not every Philadelphia penny from that year is a jackpot. Only certain coins with specific errors or characteristics hit the big bucks. Let me tell you a quick story. Back in high school, I was that kid with a jar of pennies on my desk, thinking I was gonna find a rare coin and get rich. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But last month, I found myself scrolling through an auction site, as one does at 3 a.m., and saw a 1982 no-mint mark penny selling for millions. I immediately ran to my old coin jar. Turns out, I had a 1982 penny, but with the mint mark. Clothes, but no cigar. So, the dream lives on. Now, what makes this penny worth $2.8 million? It's all about rarity and condition. There's a specific error where the coin has a smaller date font, combined with the no mint mark, and if the coin is in pristine condition, 7 figures. The one that fetched $2.8 million was a gem uncirculated specimen, graded as near perfect by professional coin graders. That's like finding a unicorn wearing a tuxedo. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, the next time you're digging through your couch cushions or that jar of pennies you keep meaning to cash in, give those 1982s a second look. Because you never know, your lazy Sunday Netflix fund could turn into a buy an island budget. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, could I be holding a fortune? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the story of the 1983 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could turn your piggy bank into a treasure chest. Yes, you heard it right, this ordinary-looking penny might just be worth a whopping $2.8 million. So, grab your magnifying glass, your spare change, and maybe a cup of coffee, because you're about to become the Sherlock Holmes of pennies. Okay, let's start with the basics. This penny was minted in 1983, a year when leg warmers were trendy, and MTV was still playing music videos. What makes this particular coin special? Well, unlike most pennies minted that year, this one doesn't have a mint mark. Usually, you'd find a little letter under the date indicating where the coin was made, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But this one? Nada. Zilch. It's like it decided to skip the name tag at the minting party. Here's where things get juicy. The 1983 penny is made of copper-plated zinc, but a tiny number were struck using the older, solid copper planchets by mistake. This rare error combined with the missing mint mark makes it a collector's dream. It's the needle in the haystack of pennies. Imagine accidentally dropping one in the couch cushions and unknowingly sitting on millions of dollars. Now, you might be thinking, okay, how do I know if I have one? Great question. First, flip that penny over. Check the weight. A regular 1983 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams, but the rare copper ones weigh around 3.1 grams. If you don't have a scale at home, don't worry, you're not alone. Just head to your local jeweler or coin dealer and ask for a quick weigh-in. Trust me, it's worth it. Here's a quick story to inspire you. A friend of mine, let's call him Dave the Doubter, thought this was all just hype. One day, while sorting through a jar of pennies to avoid doing actual work, relatable, right? He found a 1983 penny that looked a little off. He got it checked out, and boom, it wasn't the jackpot coin, but it was still worth $200. Not bad for a penny he was about to toss in a Coinstar machine. Moral of the story: even doubters can cash in. Now let's talk market value. As of today, the highest known sale for one of these pennies is $2.8 million. That's right, a penny turned into a house, a car, and a vacation to the Maldives. The coin market is all about rarity and condition. If you find one of these gems and it's in pristine condition, you're looking at serious cash. Even less than perfect ones can fetch thousands. So, what are you waiting for? Start digging through your jars, drawers, and that weird spot under the car seat where loose change hides. You never know, your next penny could be worth millions. Let me ask you this: how often do you actually look at your pennies? I mean, seriously, they're like the forgotten stepchildren of the coin family, hiding at the bottom of your purse, your couch cushions, or that mysterious junk drawer we all have. But what if I told you one of those scrappy little copper coins could be worth, wait for it, $2.60 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about the infamous 1984 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, the coin that's got collectors breaking out their magnifying glasses and second-guessing every spare penny they've ever spent on a vending machine snack. Stick around because this story gets wild, and trust me, you don't want to accidentally give away a fortune for a bag of chips. So, here's the deal with the 1984 no-mint mark penny. First off, a quick crash course for the non-coin nerds out there. US coins usually have a little letter on them that tells you where they were made, like P for Philadelphia or D for Denver. But this penny? Nope, no letter. Nada. Just Abe Lincoln chillin' on the front like usual. And that tiny detail is what makes it super rare. The government didn't even mean to make it without a mint mark. It's basically the, oops, we did it again, Britney Spears of pennies. And because it's a mistake, collectors go bananas for it. Now, how did we get to the whole $2.6 million thing? Well, buckle up. In 2018, a mint-condition 1984 no-mint mark penny sold for that jaw-dropping amount at auction. Why? Because it's all about the law of supply and demand. There aren't many of these pennies out there, and collectors are like, take my money. It's kind of like when I found out my old Pokemon cards could buy me a small car, except this penny is way cooler because it's actual money. Here's the kicker, though, these pennies could be hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about your change jar, your car cup holder, maybe even under your bed. True story, I once cleaned out my car and found a penny stuck to a melted candy bar wrapper. Guess what year it was? 1984. Sadly, mine had a mint mark, so no retirement plans for me just yet. But now, every time I see a penny, I check it like I'm Indiana Jones searching for treasure. And before you go throwing your pennies into the Coinstar machine, don't do that. By the way, they take a ridiculous cut. Let me give you a pro tip. The easiest way to check if your 1984 penny is the real deal is with a magnifying glass or, if you're fancy, one of those cool jeweler's loupes. No mint mark? Jackpot. Well, potentially. The condition matters too. If it's all scratched up or looks like it's been through a lawnmower, don't quit your day job just yet. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, that's the scoop on the 1984 no mint mark penny. Who knew a humble little copper coin could be worth a literal fortune? So here's your homework: grab your change jar, dig through your couch cushions, and channel your inner Sherlock Holmes. You never know, you might already be sitting on a gold mine, well, technically a copper mine, but you get the idea. And hey, if you strike it rich, don't forget to invite me to the yacht party, okay? You're digging through your couch cushions or checking that jar of pennies you've ignored for years, and boom, you pull out a penny worth $2.3 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about the 1985 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's turning heads and stuffing wallets. Yes, folks, there's a humble copper coin out there worth more than a luxury sports car. So, grab your change jar and let's dive in. Who knows? By the end of this video, you might have $1 million penny chilling in your pocket. The 1985 no-mint mark penny looks pretty much like every other penny from that year. Abraham Lincoln doing his serious presidential gaze on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing fancy, right? Wrong. The secret sauce here is in the no-mint mark part. Usually, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. That's normal. But what's not normal is the combination of pristine condition and certain manufacturing quirks that make some of these 1985 pennies ridiculously rare. We're talking about a super gem grade, coins that are so flawless they'd make a diamond blush. Think no scratches, perfect centering, and that shiny, fresh from the mint vibe. Now, here's where it gets fun. A particular 1985 no-mint mark penny recently sold for $2.3 million. 2.3 million. That's not pocket change, folks. This specific coin had a perfect grade of MS 70, which is basically the coin version of a perfect SAT score. It's extremely rare for pennies to reach that grade, especially ones that have been jingling around in someone's coffee can for 30 years. Let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I decided to sort through an old jar of coins my grandma gave me. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a wheat penny or two. But as I was sifting through, I found a 1985 penny that had no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Was this it? The golden, well, copper, ticket? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Mine had a huge scratch right across Lincoln's face. Classic. But hey, I still made 1 cent richer that day. Anyway, back to the big leagues. If you want to know if your penny could be the one, here's what to do: check the condition. If it's got scratches, discoloration, or looks like it's been chewed on by your dog, it's probably not worth millions. Get it graded. Serious collectors send their coins to grading services like PCGS or NGC. If your coin comes back with an MS 70 grade, you might want to sit down before looking at the potential value. Research recent sales. Even if yours isn't a $2.3 million masterpiece, rare coins in good condition can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't sleep on your spare change. That penny you've been ignoring could be your ticket to a new house, a dream vacation, or at least bragging rights at your next family gathering. Have you ever been flipping through your pocket change and thought, maybe I've got a hidden fortune in here? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about one of the most mind-blowing coin finds out there, the 1986 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could be worth a jaw-dropping $2 million. Yes, you heard that right, $2 million. Stick around, and I'll tell you how to spot this little copper jackpot and why it's worth more than my dream car collection. You might be wondering, what's the big deal with a no-mint mark penny? First off, most coins have a mint mark that tells us where they were made. A little D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all, which usually means Philadelphia. But here's the kicker: in 1986, Philadelphia wasn't supposed to be making pennies without a mint mark. So, if you find a 1986 penny with a missing mint mark, congratulations, my friend, you may have just stumbled upon the unicorn of coins. Now, how do you check? Simple. Grab that magnifying glass or just squint really hard. Look right under the date on the coin. If there's no tiny p, then you might be holding a piece of history. But before you start planning your luxury yacht purchase, here's a pro tip: condition matters big time. A coin's value skyrockets if it's in mint condition, pun intended. So, if your penny looks like it's been through a rock tumbler, its value might not hit that $2 million mark. Still, even a worn-out one could fetch you some serious cash. Let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Steve, was cleaning out his grandma's attic. He found an old coffee can filled with pennies. Long story short, Steve got curious, Googled a few dates, and bam! One of those pennies turned out to be a rare find worth over $10,000. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of a dusty coffee can and a little curiosity. Now, you might be thinking, why on earth would anyone pay $2 million for a penny? The short answer: collectors love rare stuff. The longer answer: it's all about supply and demand. There are only a handful of these 1986 no-mint mark pennies out there. The rarer the coin, the deeper collectors are willing to dig into their wallets. Plus, it's not just about the money. Owning a coin like this is like holding a tiny piece of American history. So, what's the takeaway here? Check your change, folks. That penny sitting at the bottom of your junk drawer could be your ticket to financial freedom. And even if you don't strike it rich, it's still a fun and fascinating hobby. Who doesn't love a good treasure hunt? Before you head off to raid your piggy bank, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got plenty more tips and stories coming your way about coins that could change your life, or at least your bank account. Let's turn those pennies into paradise, one rare find at a time. See you in the next video.